I'm here with our softball team. So guys, how you doing? Feeling comfortable? Yeah. That's great. Would you mind introducing yourselves to us? Like, what are your positions?
My name is Gabby Diaz. I'm a pitcher.
I'm Suzelle Roman, and I'm a pitcher.
My name is Cameron Mercier, and I'm a right fielder.
I'm Nia Bermudez, and I play center field.
I'm Annie O'Neill, and I play third base.
Well, that's great. Welcome to our show. Now, we recently had an interview with our with BHS baseball team. Would you mind telling us a little bit about softball? Like, what are the differences between baseball and softball?
I think the core differences are softball is a very closer sport. We run shorter, we pitch at a shorter difference. I also think it's more family over here than baseball.
Yeah.
I think boys have a stronger type of rough bond when the girls actually have a deep chemistry when it comes down to it.
That's cool. I'm admittedly not like that sporty, so I'm like apologizing in advance if I don't say anything like that fits like that kind of mindset. But what grade are you guys in? I think I might have asked that already. How many seniors are sitting with me again?
There's 3 of us.
3 of us. So do you plan on playing softball in college?
Yeah, actually, I just committed to the University of Caldwell, so I plan to dorm there in the fall, and I'm going to be playing for them.
Yeah, that's cool. Did you have any difficulty when trying to get recruited for the specific college?
I wouldn't say it was difficult. I would think more stressful is a better word to use. It's just with emailing coaches back and forth, you have to keep track of all your emails. And then it's like going to showcase tournaments, you want to make sure you're always on your best game. So I would think it was definitely a more stressful process than difficult.
Yeah, okay. Anyone else playing softball in college?
I actually am committed to a JUCO up in upstate New York, Herwicker softball. Again, like my teammate was saying, it is a very stressful process. Knowing if you want to continue softball in college because of what you're majoring in and also tackling on a sport is very difficult. But I think the love for the game with most girls pushes you to play ball in college. So I think it's a pretty big experience for us.
That's cool. How old were all of you when you first started playing softball?
I would say, I think 6 years old. So I've been playing for about like 11 years.
I started playing when I was 4. I started with baseball and then converted into softball around the 6th grade, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I did the same thing as Gabby.
I started when I was 7.
I haven't been playing for that long, actually. I played in 7th grade, and then I took a break 8th grade, and then I just started again last year.
That's cool. Where do you think your love, like your passion for softball came from?
My parents.
Yeah, I would say the same, honestly.
Parents me like that way.
Now, with your parents, was it just because they played, or is it just because they encouraged you, like they put you in the sport to see if you liked it? Like,
I would say for me, it was just more of like a bonding experience with my dad. All my brothers played baseball, and I saw like how like their connection was. And then one day, my dad was just like, "Hey, let's just go outside, let's throw the ball around a bit." And I would say like that, right then and there was just like where all my love came from, because I saw how like great I was bonding with my dad. How every single day he would be so excited just to like go out and have a toss with me. And I would say that's where definitely all my love comes from.
Yeah. I definitely have to say the same thing. My mom and my sister played, so I was always on the field as a kid.
that's cool. So why BHS softball? There's like a lot of other schools out there. Is it because just you're at BHS, or is it just specifically like a specific reason?
I picked BHS actually. I had a struggle coming up from 8th grade. I was debating between St. Dom's. Me and Nia actually were both planning on going to St. Dom's to go play softball. And then our coach, Samantha Maggio, actually encouraged us to come to Bayonne because she thought it was in our best interest to come into Bayonne. And even though we did have a fall short out our freshman year, we did start our freshman year as varsity players, and we had an undefeated season our freshman year. So I don't regret it coming here. I think being in BHS has helped me grow a love for the girls that are sitting by me today.
So what made you want to try out in the first place?
I think honestly it just stemmed from 7th grade. Both me and Gabby came to all the clinics that Sam was hosting, and just seeing how just like welcoming of a coach that she was and seeing how kind she was to us. I think that honestly persuaded, I would say, both me and Gabby's decision coming here, because like she said, we both were debating on going to a different high school. But you're not going to get a coach like Coach Sam at any other high school. A coach that will treat you as like basically like your own mom when you're with her. You know, she's always taking care of us. Never, if like one person is down, she's always making sure she's bringing them back up, and that's not something you find very often.
Very true.
Could you tell us a little bit more about your coach? She seems like she really inspired you guys.
Samantha Maggio is probably one of the best coaches I've grown up with so far. And not only, she is very aggressive on the field as a coach, but when it comes down to it, practice, mental health days, she's the coach that you want to have by your side. I know when I dealt with my own personal needs, when Mia had, even with Suzelle, Sam was always the first person to call or text us to make sure we were okay. And if we needed it, a mental health day was there. She puts her players first before her own when it comes down to taking us out to dinners, making sure people have cleats the next day, buying people new bats, new gloves. She puts us as if we were her own.
Okay, so can you tell us a little bit more about this upcoming season?
I'm excited.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be a good season.
I think we definitely have, out of the 4 years that I've been here, I would say this is probably our strongest team we've had this whole entire time. Mentally and physically, you know, a good majority of us have been working out with Prime AD in the off season, and his workouts have definitely improved our game. You know, we're all hungry. We're all, after the fallout that we had last season, we all just want to get out there.
So what do you think we can expect?
I think you guys can expect a very big undefeated season from us this year. Because what I see this year, I see a bunch of girls that are hungry for county. And that's what our team wants to bring home. We're tired of seeing the boys bring home a trophy, basketball girls bring home a trophy, and then we come out short every year.
Yeah.
It's not. I think it's not fair to us because every year we've been there. We've been to the county championship. Freshman, even though we lost sophomore year, junior, and now our senior years, we want another one. So we're trying to bring it home.
Would you consider like your main goal for this season, like winning, bringing back the idea that you won for the softball team?
I would 100% say that's a main goal of mine. I've been in 2 county championships already, both of which we unfortunately didn't come up in, and it's not a fun feeling. It's really not. So it's just like every single year you come back even more hungry, you come back wanting it more. So I would definitely say that is the main thing that I'm looking forward to this year, because it's not going to be, oh, if we win, we will win.
Anyone else want to answer?
I think that is like the main goal, but the goal is so much more than just winning, like as a team.
Oh yeah.
I think my goal this year, to be not my goal, what I'm really looking forward to is whatchamacallit? Oh, our new coaching staff.
Okay.
We have an extreme great group of coaches coming in to help the Lady Bees be these great athletes. And I really don't think the rest of the county is aware of the team and the coaching staff that we're about to bring in this year.
I think it's also the bond too. I mean, all of us are pretty close. We talk to each other on the off season, see each other on the off season.
I would say during our actual season is when everybody just becomes just
More
one
people.
big old happy family, and I think that's what every single girl looks forward to every single day at practice, at games, just the bond that we all share.
That's really cool. Are your goals different from last season, if they changed at all?
I definitely, last season I came to varsity a few days later than everyone else, and so I spent most of my last year practicing and like, getting ready, and I actually ran for someone. So this year I'm really looking forward to like getting playing time in the field, and I feel like I've practiced very hard last year and through our workouts over the summer that I'm ready to play.
Now, you guys said that you were like hungry for, these next wins you're expecting. Could you tell us a little more about the mentality you're going in with to these games?
I think,
Positive.
yeah.
Definitely positive, ready to play. Nothing like when we get there, our mind is on softball, nothing else. We have to just release any like bad energy.
I think one thing I'm taking with me is something our trainer has told us, who we've been working out with, Mark Johnson. He has told us to be hungry, to have an attack mode at every game, every finish line. to always see it as being hungry, and I think that's what we are. I think we want to attack this season.
I think honestly a really big mindset that we all go in with is once another team steps on the field with us, they don't want to do it again. That's basically what we want to come out with every single game.
Oh, that's awesome. How's it working with the other players on the team? Do you guys get along well? You have a good dynamic?
I would say honestly, because I've played on many teams. I played on travel teams, high school teams. This is probably the one team that I would say everybody is just like, we're all so comfortable with each other. We're all practically sisters. It's like you can, all on the bus, we'll all just be blasting music, just singing along with each other. Before we can lose 15-0, you're still going to see us on the bus goofing around with each other.
And to add on to that, I think we've grown so much from me and Mia's freshman year. In all honesty, we did not have the best team. The chemistry just wasn't there, and I think that's what caused us such a downfall in the ending of our season. When there's no chemistry in a team, it's just like everybody fights with each other. There's no love, and when there's no love with the teammates, there's no love with the game. So I think with this team, I think because of how big our love is for the game, and not only for the game but for each other, it's gonna help us bring each other up and overpower other teams.
Right. Do you think with like your last team, was it like you guys didn't share that love because you were like reaching for like one endpoint, but you weren't thinking of bringing it together?
I think it was because everybody else had, I think certain people had I think we all had the same goal to win it,
Yeah.
but people tried to do it on their own, not as a team. They rather it to be the heroes and, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to save the day, when it just needed to be a group self-effort, and it wasn't.
So could you tell us a little bit about how a practice day looks? Like, what do you guys get done during that time?
We get a lot done. We get our fielding in, of course, separately, and then come together as one, because that's where you really get to work as a unit. And then, of course, we work on hitting, and it gets pretty intense sometimes, but I think that's what we really need for us to get to that goal.
Could you tell me a little more about the intensity of the practices?
So I think if I would call it intense, so sometimes we'll split it up into a game. We'll have girls go into the field, say I'll pitch an inning, and I'll get my fellow teammates to come in and they'll hit against me. And even I'll have Mia hit against me, or I'll have Annie. And it's more like, yeah, they're my teammates, but at the time I'm in my circle, I'm pitching to dominate. So even they are my teammates, I'm going to throw them inside, I'm going to throw them a rise ball, I'm going to throw them whatever I can to strike them out. And their mentality should be, I'm going to hit this kid's ball over the fence. And I think that's what it comes down to. I think that's what it has come down to, as Mia was whispering in my ear. She's tanked me over the fence one time. Annie has hit me a bunch of times, triple. I think Cameron, one of the youngest right now, she hit me in our practice last year. She's coming up really strong. Suzelle's in a little bit of a slump, but she's getting there. She's getting there. But I don't know, I think really that intensity that we have in practice, it just puts us all together on the field during a real game, and that's what gives us that intense drive to overpower.
Right. Are there any other schools that you have like a rivalry with? I said, I don't really know much about sports. So I really want to hear this.
Right now,
we can all name a team.
right now it's Hudson
Wait,
Catholic.
we should all say that. We should all say that in three.
Oh, damn.
Never mind.
Unfortunately.
Well, we have a couple of teams. I think our rival is UC. Union City's looking big right now, and it's all respect to them. I think they're really working it hard out.
Yeah.
But I also think they don't have the chemistry that we do. And
And then obviously,
Hudson Catholic.
I think Hudson is a little bit more by default though, because obviously we're the two teams that went head to head with each other last year in the county championship, and Hudson came out on top. And I think this year,
Coming back for revenge.
yeah.
I think
And I
everyone's
think
expecting it.
one Bayonne's big rival is Kearney, but we don't really see them as a
Yeah.
threat when it comes to softball.
When was the last time you guys actually won a championship? Were any of you like?
I don't even think I was alive.
We were
if you
in-
want me to be honest.
Really?
So I think we were in,
We might have been in grammar school.
I think we were in grammar school the last time the girls won a county championship. Not saying it shouldn't have been done. I don't need to sound cocky. I just think with the team that we've had over my 4 years, I think Bayonne softball should have 3 county championships on their shoulder going into winning a 4th one.
Yeah.
I don't think that we should still be, personally me and Mia and Suzelle, we should not be going into our 4th year as seniors and haven't won one yet.
Do you have any advice for anyone younger wanting to join the team? I know you're the youngest, right? Same age.
I'm younger.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's younger.
Well, any of you really, do you have any advice for anyone wanting to join the team?
I honestly think the best advice I can give is just be yourself and don't be afraid. Because I know how intimidating it could be, obviously, coming in freshman year. I had a senior who was playing my position. So obviously I had to work twice as hard as she was to claim that spot. But like, you don't want to go in being scared of everybody, because then it's just like you feel like the odd one out. And it's not a fun feeling. But if you go in, you're yourself, you see, because we're not a hard group to get along with. If anything, we're probably the most welcoming team you could be a part of. And so you go in, we're all going to be goofing around, we're going to goof around with you, whether we just met you 5 minutes ago or not.
Yeah. Have you given that advice to anyone younger than you on the team? Like, do you think they
I think I've given it to her. Because she used to be very quiet. And I would always just be like, Cameron, like, why don't you talk? Like, and I'm pretty sure at the time we were all like throwing Crocs at each other.
Yeah.
And so she's just sitting on the bench. I'm like, come on.
Well, coming in last year, my freshman year, I was virtual, so I really didn't know anyone in school. And I found out about the tryouts posted online. I didn't even know that they were having them. My guidance counselor just posted like the list of activities. So I was going into tryouts not knowing anyone on the team, not really like knowing who's going to be at the tryouts. But once I got to go to the practices for varsity, they're very, very welcoming. And I consider some of them my best friends now on the team. Like it was like an instant like click. Like I was a little shy, but they were so nice to me, and I shouldn't have been nervous at all.
You guys seem like you get along like super well. I'm a little jealous. What's your favorite memory from being on the team?
Oh my God, there's so many.
There's so many memories that we share. And
I would say probably this is my most recent favorite, when we had practice last year before counties and we brought cupcakes for Sam and Vinny for their birthdays.
Yeah, that was a good.
That was fun.
I think we should go down the line. What about you, Annie?
I'm trying to think. Someone else go.
My favorite memory was probably from senior night last year, because after the game we all celebrated and we ate like cupcakes and everything, and then we made a few like TikToks. Like
Spent like 30 minutes on one thing.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
that was my favorite.
Honestly, I think definitely making TikToks before games, like in the
Oh,
buses.
yes.
I think that was it.
I think my favorite memory was us. We had just lost to Hudson Catholic for our first game last year. And, it was hard because we wanted to come into that game on top. And it wasn't a bad loss, I don't think. I think it was
really
like
good game.
a 1-run game or a 2-run game. So we were a little upset, but our coaches were like, here, let's get some shaved ice, get you guys back on the bus. We were listening to a bunch of Spanish music, just dancing around. I think that's what like Bayonne softball is about. It's just like family. I think our memories are like such a core thing with us.
Does softball ever get in the way of like school? Like, how do you manage that?
It depends. I know. I would say this year it's probably the easiest because I'm a senior, so I really only take like a class. My freshman year, I would say it was probably the hardest, but also at the same time, you learn to manage. Like sometimes you'll just end up doing your homework during lunch. The bus rides, you could do your homework there. Because I would say probably on the way to the game, that's when everyone's kind of trying to relax, like get in the zone. Some girls are doing homework, some girls are sleeping. I'm not gonna name names.
Guilty. I'm very guilty of sleeping on the bus, but I do it. That's my pregame. It's me sleeping. It helps me. I don't know. I get in my own zone while sleeping. But what Mia said, I struggled too my freshman year. I was actually second marking period. I was in danger of not being able to play softball, which obviously clicked me out of my failing state. I was like, okay, I gotta get my stuff together. But I think what really helps is, again, our coach, Samantha, if we're failing, okay, then you don't practice today, you go on sidelines, you do homework. And even when I was struggling my freshman year, you can ask Mia herself, she got us a tutor. And we studied in the car during practice, if it rained, if it literally was hailing, she had us in the car studying. And my grades jumped up. I was now not being just a 65 or a 70 student. I was passing, I think, what was it, Algebra 1?
Yeah.
With I almost said a 52, an 82. But that's what I mean. Like, she knows how to put us first, especially when we need it. And I just think when you get older, so freshman year, it's really hard to handle it. Sophomore year, it just gets easier because you're getting older and you're learning how to be able to handle your stuff. I don't know how Annie handled it.
I don't know.
Yeah, pretty good. You just have to know your priorities
Yeah,
and
time
like
management.
manage your time well.
Do you think time management also has to do with softball?
Definitely.
Yeah, I think softball prepares me for time management because like, you know, we're told to get here, let's say like today, so say like we have to get there at 3:15. Most of our girls are gonna show up at 3 because you don't want to get there late, which 3:15 to Coach Sam is late. So I think that also goes into like, okay, now this goes into my softball, my schoolwork. This goes into if I do have a job. Like I feel like this goes into everyday life. Being on time is being late.
Yeah.
And being early is being on time. And that's what I feel like Coach Sam has taught us throughout the years of playing softball for her.
Now, is there a captain on this team?
So we haven't officially named captains yet usually, so we'll probably go by seniors. So as of right now, since we don't know, so we have me, we have Suzelle, we have Mia, and we have another senior, really bad that she's not here, but she goes to high tech, so she couldn't be here, but she would be another captain of ours, I think, so.
You think of like doing like multiple captains or just like one captain?
Well,
Normally we do.
we do multiple. We usually do multiple. Like that's how. The only time I think we ever didn't do multiple was I think last year we had a captain, a co-captain, and then just somebody that they allowed to be with them to not keep her out because she was also another senior. Sam always names captain. She puts us around home plate, and she'll be like, she'll give a speech about how the player is, how she's been over the years, and she'll name the captain. And usually, sometimes it isn't about being just a senior. It's about if you're a leader. And last year, a junior was, no, not last year, my sophomore year, a junior was a leader. You don't have to be a senior to lead. And I think that's what I love most about the program is that you don't have to be a senior to hold specific titles. Like I could come in my freshman year and I could have people, I could be like, hey, come on, pick your head up. I could lead.
Yeah.
It's just, I think it depends on your personality, the person you are. And I think that's pretty cool.
That's great. Well, thank you so much, ladies, for coming by to our studio today. It was a pleasure having you. Good luck this season. I hope you guys, conquer like everyone you meet. You encounter. You're welcome. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in to another episode of Bayonne Tonight. It's nice having you. I'm your host, Michaela Rios. Be sure to tune in to our next episode. Good night, Bayonne.